Okay, so it looks like things have got worse for the OnlyFans teacher. Her name is Kirsty Butchman. She comes out of Glasgow and she was teaching at Bannerman High School. And in 2022, pupils discovered her OnlyFans, which all I can think about with that, I just think, imagine if I was in school and I found a teacher's OnlyFans. Because the type of kid I was in school, bro, I would be the guy to have found it first. I just think, what would I have done? Would I have gone to her first? I don't know. She did a little interview with the Daily Record. I think this is she did an interview with the Daily Record where she kind of says, I was forced to do it.
Terms. Teachers are striking, they're getting called liars themselves because it's bullying tactics from Bannerman. You're too scared to talk out and say that anything's wrong. You're not supported. If you need help, if there's a situation, you can't reach anyone in school, you're told there's a button on the phone where you can phone, and apparently it calls like all the phones in the deputy corridor. But I was once given in trouble for calling it a panic button. I don't know what the actual term for it is, but no one answers. If there's a fight, you can't get a hold of anyone on the phone.
Are there not many fights? What kind of instance have you actually witnessed?
Several. I've not witnessed.
Oh my God, there were fights in my school and we weren't prepared, bruv. Come on, we've all had fights in school. What she's done here and what a city council spokesperson from Glasgow said, sorry guys, what is wrong with my speech? I'm talking like I'm drinking lean or something, bro. We don't do that around here. It is very telling that this person has tried to deflect from the situation by taking advantage of current news stories about the school, which have no relation to the disciplinary proceedings. Because she was let go after a parent sent an email. And you know what it is? Sometimes it's just the angle, bro. Sometimes it's just the angle, because OnlyFans, it's very oversaturated. Like, the porn industry is just very oversaturated. And a lot of people do own OnlyFans. Kind of reminds me of TikTok now, It kind of reminds me of TikTok because people are doing anything they can to go viral on TikTok when it doesn't really pay that much anymore, Yeah, it pays, but is it really worth your digital footprint being messed up? You got the woman whose name shall not be mentioned, freaking sleeping with 1,000 guys in a day to go viral on OnlyFans. You have to be all in to do this thing, You have to be all in to make the money. And even the money she talks about getting, it's like, you've got a son, like, is that really worth it? But hey, progressiveness and all that. I'm sure back in the day, teachers would maybe be strippers on the side, but now with the internet, your OPSEC's got to be on point. The teacher got to have better OPSEC. It's crazy how she's trying to justify it, because like, as a teacher, you can't have students finding naked pictures of you, because obviously the students are going to go and, bruv, I used to, listen, I was a horny teenager in my school, bruv. Listen, if them things I was doing when I was freaking teenage, the peak puberty happening years, if I was to do them things now, I'll be a freaking weirdo. But when you're a teenage boy, bruv, it's absolutely mental. She did this interview, and it wasn't until June 2025 where the GTCS, the General Teaching Council for Scotland, officially struck her off. They officially struck her off. When they say struck off, I don't think she's banned from teaching, but she was banned from reapplying to be a teacher for 2 years. But I don't think she wants to be a teacher. But I think she got caught up in the money. She got caught up in the fast life. She's like, yeah, you know what? I'm getting this money in right now. But it gets worse for the woman, because after she lost her job and it was official, she did an interview on Good Morning Britain. And I don't even understand why they've given her a platform, Like, this is doing is promoting her OnlyFans. This is all in her interest. And considering it's been 3 years, it's probably slowed down a little bit. And the history, the story of a sex worker, man. Like, at the start, they'll probably say, no way am I fucking anyone for 10 grand. I'm not fucking anyone for 10 grand. No way. Or they might say, I need at least 100 grand to fuck. They're doing their thing, fresh in the game, clients, getting money. Money starts to dry up. So she fucks for 10K. I'm not saying the teacher's done this, but I'm just telling you the path of an OnlyFans creator as a escort. That's the more professional word to call it. She fucks for 10K. Things are really slow. That 10Ks are only bread for the month. Someone says, we suck my dick for £500, and the price goes down. and it gets dark after that point. It gets very, very dark. But let's take a look at this little clip from this interview.
Online, there they were looking at them on their phone.
On the subscription site OnlyFans.
Wow.
Well,
Okay.
she resigned from her job, but this week she was struck off the teaching register in Scotland.
Oh, man, it's really just angles, bro. Guys, don't hear me out. I'm
struck
trying.
off
Don't
the
hear me
teaching
out.
register in Scotland, and Kirsty joins us now.
Good morning.
Good morning to you. This happened back at the end of 2022.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
first,
I love the Scottish accent. Yeah, I love it. I need to go Glasgow one day and, you know, let Kirsty know I'm going to be there.
you'd been teaching for how many years?
Almost 10 years.
Okay.
Damn.
And why did you set up an OnlyFans site in November 2022?
It's such a long story. My son hadn't been well and he was seeing a specialist at the hospital, and I'm a single mum, had no help to watch him. My only other help was my nana, who was going through cancer radiation therapy, and I needed time off and they were going to dock my wages. So it's not as if it was the only job I could have done, but it was the only job that would get me enough money to pay my mortgage, Christmas and my broken car.
How much were you making a month from it?
The most I got was almost 60,000.
And how much were you being
For a
paid
month?
For a month?
Yeah, for a month, yeah.
And how much were you...
Yeah, in a month, that's crazy. Let's see. That was around the peak when it was main news story, when OnlyFans was popping. Now, you'll be lucky to be making minimum wage a month, bro. Unless you find like the ultra simps on there, bruv. Because one of my brethren is an OnlyFans manager, and he's telling me it's kind of getting a little bit, you know, drying up right now, but still, money's still coming in. It's mainly just finding the simps who'll send bare peas, because subscriptions are kind of dead.
You being paid as a teacher for a month?
About the same.
Okay.
Well, way less for
lot
the
less.
year, sorry. The year, yeah.
Yeah.
okay.
So,
Not the
okay,
month.
you were earning in a month
What I got
on
in a year as a teacher.
OnlyFans, what you would get annually
Yes.
as a teacher.
So what teacher's getting paid? Oh, she was a physics teacher. She was a physics teacher, so she was actually on good money. Because physics teachers are hard to come by in this country, bro. Because if I somehow, I mean, physics was, I was okay at physics, but if I somehow get a master's degree in physics, you think I'm dealing with you, your pickney, with your little rascals, fam? No chance, bro. I'm gonna go work for Elon Musk or something, bro, or work in nuclear power or some shit. You know what I mean? That's why there's a shortage of physics teachers. So the wage makes sense. It makes a lot of sense, because I remember my old science teacher. He said, "Who do you think the highest paid teacher in the school is?" I said, "I don't know," and he pointed to the physics teacher. So it's not cap.
I suppose the issue then was that you opened up an OnlyFans subscription site.
Yeah.
Did you not think to yourself, the pupils are going to see these pictures?
I did, but we all need to take responsibility. Of course, I knew the risks involved, but I'm a mum at the end of the day. My son comes first, paying my bills comes first.
I hear that. And at the same time, technically, the kids shouldn't have been able to see this content anyway. They shouldn't have been able to, but come on, what was we doing? Come on, man.
Of course, I knew there was a risk. I spoke to my son about it before doing it.
How old is your son? if you
He's
don't-
14 now,
Okay.
going on 30. So I knew...
Oh, her son's 40. Oh, what? Did she say 40? I thought it was a young son.
Your son, if
He's
you don't-
14 now,
Okay.
going on 30. So I knew...
So he was, okay, so your 40-year-old son was ill, and, okay, and you needed to start an OnlyFans, ruin your whole career to be a teacher. You know, we don't know anyone's illnesses, you know what I mean? But could he not have stayed with grandma? I don't know. I feel like she's just coping here, making excuses. I can't lie, but maybe her son was very ill. I don't know. You know, I don't know that. We'll never know that.
There was going to be risk involved, but I'd used a different name. I've got my moniker, Jessica Jackrabbit. I put a wig on, loads of makeup that didn't look like me. I didn't think I was going to get caught. Saying, you know, good teacher.
What are you saying? Are we clocking? I don't think I'd think that's the same person, you know. If I
Going
don't
really
look
bad.
for
A
too
lot of
long.
people pretend from them.
Yeah, man, and on OnlyFans as well, they got to deal with the pirate content, but it's like you have to have whole teams. That costs a lot of money. But it gets worse for Kirsty, because a few days ago, literally 2 days ago, HMRC have been on her back. And when HMRC are on your back, ache, it's not good. Ache, all right? Do not fuck with HMRC. give HMRC what they're owed. The former physics teacher was struck off after students saw her sexually explicit OnlyFans profile and has been fined more than 25K for failing to pay a huge tax bill. The time makes sense. This was probably her peak. This was probably her peak. She probably spent all the money. Didn't have enough money to pay her tax bill. Maybe she didn't invest in an accountant. You know, accountants feel stupid, but I love my accountant, bro. I can call him and ask him about anything. Before I'm even thinking of buying anything, I give him a call to see if I can deduct more so I don't pay no tax to Keir Starmer. Keir Starmer, big up Keir Starmer. But Sadiq Khan is a wanker for free. Oh, I might even get bagged for that. Nah, he's a wanker for that, bro. He's a wanker for charging electric cars, bro. What we doing here? But back on track. The tax authority said Miss Buchan had failed to pay 38,000, well, pretty much 39,000, let's round that up, in tax between the 6th of April 2025 and the 5th of April 2023. She said she was challenging the final amount owed and would clear any. Yeah, she definitely didn't get an accountant, bro. The 34-year-old from Glasgow has posted okay, right, she's done that. And the school, she was struck off. So, yeah. HMRC cited her on a list of deliberate tax defaulters who had not paid bills over 25K. And that's what's so dark, man. HMRC, they publish all of it. Like, they publish all the names, bro. So I pray I don't, you know what I mean? Like, they publish everyone's name. But obviously, she's obviously going to dispute it, go through the process. And HMRC, it doesn't mean she's bankrupt, bro. Like, HMRC, they'll give you time to pay as long as you pay. It's just like they're going to get their money. There's no not giving the tax man their freaking money. And even just looking at Kirsty, man, like, you know, it's like, nowadays it's just so saturated, you know what I mean? Because I don't think any woman's ugly, you know what I mean? Far from it. But there's always a market for you. But there's just so many of you, you know, sexy Scottish teacher, you know, on OnlyFans, bro. You can probably find like 10, and then you can just score on their Twitters and it'll all be free, you know what I mean? Let alone to pay. So it's quite saturated right now, the OnlyFans market. And I even remember, I mean, even for the pretty girls, even if the pretty girls feel like doing OnlyFans, it doesn't even make sense these days. At the start, it did because, you'll get, if you've got clout and you're pretty, then it makes sense. It's quick cash grab. But if you're a pretty girl, I'm talking like up there to the point where, like, when I'm walking past you, I have to just realize how has God made this specimen, this I'm just rambling on here. But what was I trying to get at, guys? Sorry. What was I trying to get at? It's Saturday night. Come on, I just want to get out of here, man. Hope you guys are still enjoying the video, and give it a like if you haven't already. What I was getting at is, it's so oversaturated now that it doesn't even, as a pretty woman, if you're a pretty woman, it makes sense to just get a rich husband instead of putting your private parts on the net to be seen forever. You know, to be seen forever. It's crazy nowadays that you just see actual super pretty girls doing it, and you're thinking, what on earth is going on here? And pretty privilege is a real thing, because I remember, like, this is like 4 years ago, something like that. I was at the studio with my cousin and an old friend of mine. We went into this corner shop, and when we walked past, there were these two girls sitting in this car, sitting in a Polo, I think, or something like that. They were kind of, I mean, one of them was nice, the other one was nice, but the other one stood out more, if that makes sense. And this is where I kind of learned about pretty privilege in person, you know what I mean? Because all three of us were just talking to her friend. Like, we weren't talking to the girl who was right there on the side, you know what I mean? And I look back on that and I thought, bruv, that must have not been nice for her, man. You know what I mean? Obviously, that was as an 18, 19-year-old rookie, you got to entertain both, and, you got to, even if it's a fridge, but not fridges, but yeah. Peace and love to everyone watching. Would you buy Kirsty's OnlyFans? I don't think I would, man. I don't think I'll buy any OnlyFans, to be honest, mate. Yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace and love to every single one of you guys watching, bro. Fuck it up.